Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called What Happens When We Die? A guided experience to release fear and open to spirit communication. My name is Stephen Knight. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network. And in recent years, we have been going into a deep dive into mediumship and communication with beings on the other side. It's been something that we've taught a lot of programs. I've had a lot of personal experimentation, and it really feels that we are in a time now where we can create a collaborative relationship across the veil, which is beautiful for healing work. It's also beautiful for guidance about your life, and it really opens the portal to deeper levels of transformation. So we're going to get to explore with one of the world's pioneers in this area. Her name is Susan Grau. She's a transformational healer, intuitive medium, inspirational speaker, and author. She was very beloved on the recent Mediumship Summit, so we're excited to have her. And if you want to go further with Susan, we're going to have a brand new course with her coming up. We'll share more about towards the end of the hour. It's called Spirit Communication Beyond Death. So more to come with Susan if you get sparked by today. So Susan, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great. Well, I always like to start with just a little bit of personal backstory and understanding what propelled you to become a medium and explore these realms.
I didn't actually want to be a medium. I have to say that I didn't know what that was. I was a little girl, and I really believe that my life journey is what taught me about being a medium. I was locked in an unplugged freezer in a garage, and I had a very profound experience. And when I came back from that, I was able to see spirits, and I ended up being a therapist and spent most of my time working with people who were in grief. That seemed to be where I was pulled. And I kept knowing things, and I would know what happened to people and what where they were, how they died, and that just kind of spread around. And here I am. I landed on that. But what I found out later in my journey was that consciousness was it continued, and I realized that love survives death, and then I realized that death is not the end. And I always thought it was when I was little until that happened. I mean, I didn't even know if I thought about death. We had one incident and I thought she was gone forever. And I found out that wasn't true. So life continued to survive. And after that experience and seeing the spirits, I went into a completely different space. And I spent years trying to understand why I was having experiences of them visiting me and showing up and talking to me. And I could see them, feel them, sense them. I knew they were there, but I didn't know what to do with it. And I actually thought they were the boogeyman. And I found out they weren't hurting me, and something had changed in me. And moving forward, the world around me changed, and I ended up sitting where I am now, which is teaching and doing mediumship.
Mm. Well, thank you for sharing your journey. And I was drawn to that so many of your clients as a therapist were grieving. And so how did they really starting to build this bridge to the other side to communicate across the veil? How did that actually shift the whole transformational journey of therapy?
Well, I really believe that people's greatest fear is that it's not really death, it's separation.
Mm.
And that's what I came to find out. People are afraid of losing the people they love, and they're afraid of losing their autonomy, their own ego, their body. And because we don't know what that looks like. And so we're afraid of being forgotten, or
Mm.
we're afraid of forgetting them, which, is another whole level. And when someone dies, we believe the relationship ends. And so I shifted into understanding that doing therapeutic work in grief, it became very clear to me that I needed to shift what I was experiencing and seeing for others. And so after decades of doing this work and supporting people who had gone through this, I made a decision that I needed to teach people that love didn't end, and that the relationship changes, but it doesn't end. And so my work's devoted to helping people release that fear around death and grief, and handling things differently, and bringing them a strength of connection so that they can discover that they're not gone. I want them connected to their loved ones. They are still available to us. And so that's why I'm here.
And it's really beautiful that the underneath the fear of death is really the fear of separation. I think that's such an important insight. And so Obviously, people come to mediumship with a lot of skepticism, doubt, fears that they're going to be misled or kind of fall down. So, how do you sort of address some of the hesitations, doubts, fears, when you're starting to build that bridge of connection with loved ones on the other side?
Well, I think the doubt comes from not understanding that our biggest misconception about death is that we stop existing.
Hmm.
And so we have limiting beliefs and we push away truth. We push away the knowledge that they're around us because number one, we fear. Like, what is that noise? What am I experiencing? So fear is a very profound reactionary behavior. And when we do that, we actually shut down and we limit our beliefs of what's around us. So, if through everything I've experienced through my near death and through spirit communication, working with thousands of people, quite honestly, that are grieving, is survival is beyond physical death. And when our bodies dies, our consciousness doesn't. And in order to guide someone into that, we have to get rid of their fear base, their limiting beliefs, their rejection of the fact that they could have a relationship with the people they love once they're gone. And I will tell you, just in my experience of crossing over, I remember actually speaking to my mom, and she was responding and looking around the room of what trying to figure out what she was experiencing, but I was actually communicating with her. And that gave me a real opening. So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can communicate. And they want us to communicate with them as much as we want them to communicate with us. They want to be here as much as we want them to be here experiencing our journey. So that is so important for us to remember. And once we understand that and that our consciousness doesn't die, I think that light bulb goes off.
Mm.
And when the bulb burns out, electricity doesn't disappear. So here we are with this beautiful bulb going off inside of us and realizing, oh, they're really around us and we can feel the electricity of that. And once we do that, we can use that vessel to shine and get information. Um, our body is a vessel to connect with them. And I like to teach that. I want people to understand that it is not just consciousness, it is a relationship. It is not just listening, it's a conversation. And
Mm.
once we understand that, we're just conversing with them and we start to learn how they're conversing back.
Mm. Well, I'm looking forward to diving into more about the communication aspects, but I kind of first want to ask you a little bit, what have you learned from talking with so many different spirits about their existence on the other side? What happened to them after they died?
Well, they continue visiting and they continue wanting to have a relationship with us. And they may not be living in the physical form, but that doesn't make them any less credibly there. It's just a matter of us opening in that pathway. What they taught me was that we avoid opening the pathway to them. And it's because we don't know how.
Mm.
And so we have to build that muscle in order for that pathway to open. They're also building their muscle. And that's one of the things they taught me when they left is that they have to learn how to communicate with us also. It's really important to step into that understanding because if we think that it's just easy for them, we don't understand why it's not easy for us to hear it. It's not easy for them. They love it. They love communicating with us, but it's not easy. It's a simple process that takes a lot of work. And so they taught me that. They also taught me that it's unconditional for them. So we can avoid them, not see them, not experience them, and they're there. And they don't feel any anger, any grief, or they don't run away, or they're not hiding from us. They come back and they keep trying. And they want us to understand that they are, although not in the physical form, they are truly present in our journey. So the goal of mediumship, obviously, is to teach people how to get information regarding that. And that's what they're trying to give us.
Mm. I'm intrigued with this notion that they really have to build the capacity themselves as we do on our side. Have you found that when people have practiced and developed mediumship skills on this side, that they carry that over into the other side? So they're sort of, ramped up the learning curve a bit?
I do. I believe that if we learn here and we begin to soften that fear that we have, and the connection becomes easier. So if we can rid ourselves, this fear base is the strongest way that we push them out. And so the goal is to bring them in by releasing that. Once we do that, we cross over to the other side and we don't have that fear base in us there either. Of course, the fear
Mm.
base leaves us there pretty close to immediately, but you have to understand also that we do have consciousness there in some form.
Hmm.
And so we do want badly to connect. If we can release and learn here, imagine what we can do there.
Mm. So releasing fear is at the foundation of starting to build this bridge of communication. So what, in terms of building this capacity for mediumship, like what have you found are the most useful things to sort of begin to dissipate and release some of the fear?
I really believe for me, it's not worrying about being right. I think for me, and most of my students that I teach, they tell me, what if I'm wrong? And I tell them, what if you're right? And does it matter if you're wrong? You can't really be wrong. So if we open up the pathway and spirit comes in and gives us information, and we say, thank you so much for that, instead of that's just what I thought they'd say or do. It must be me. But just to say, thank you so much for that, they recognize that we are paying attention to them. And they say, oh my gosh, she's learning this way. I'm going to keep doing this. So even in that moment, if you're wrong, release that fear, because they will begin coming that way if they know you're going to listen that way. So it's one of the ways that I teach people to release that fear is to be an acceptance. Just accept that it's a possibility. You don't have to believe in it completely or understand it completely. You have to believe that it's possible. And when I ask someone, do you believe it's possible? Just the possibility that they may be there speaking, and they say, yes, I already know they're on their way to learning properly. So
Hmm.
we have so many limiting beliefs, Stephen, that I really believe that in our process of mediumship, those limiting beliefs push out the knowledge base that they're trying to give us, the dictionary they're trying to give us, which is maybe an example might be they may come and we see a balloon go up in the air in our minds and we go, well, it's their birthday's coming. So obviously I'm thinking that. Instead of doing that and being afraid not to connect, just connect with it and thank them for that balloon and ask yourself, is there a birthday right now? And if that happens to every single time and that seems to fit with the birthday, then that would be a dictionary piece. You don't have to memorize that. They'll teach you that innately. You will pick it up, just like we do our verbiage, English, let's just say. If I learned to speak English as a child, as I'm seeing it more and more and more, hearing it more and more, I'm going to expand and pick that information up. And it's the same thing with the spirit world. So the more we open and allow them in, the more we learn to communicate. And that's how it works.
Hmm. So clearly, you said there's some spirits that sort of communicate more symbolically, or at least to our side. Maybe share a little bit about some of the languaging or the kind of forms of communication to open to the different possibilities.
And they have so many. So one of the things that I believe they communicate with is all of our senses. That's how I pick it up. And I think that once we understand that, I know that we can move into it. So let's say I hear a voice. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll hear Susan, and I will hear it in my head or outside of my head. And that's clairaudience. So I'm getting clairaudient information. I'm hearing it, whether inside or outside. That would be one of our senses. Or clairvoyance, which is just clair means clear in French. It's just clear viewing, voyance, viewing. And in that, I know that I'm seeing something. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, there's something here and getting frightened, I'll calm myself and say, what is it they want to show me? And I'll ask them, show me what you want me to know with one of my clairs, one of my senses. Touch, sometimes you'll feel them pull your hair or poke in the back. I have experiences all the time where they're poking me in the back and I'll go stop, and then I'll realize no one's there but them. And that's okay with me today, where it used to be, what was that? I remember being young, and I would go into a paralysis state, which is really common, which creates fear for us. But let me explain why. We feel fear because we aren't moving. Maybe we're not blinking, we're feeling frozen in time. They're doing it so that we listen. We pay attention to the clairs, that the senses that they're utilizing. Because when we feel something, our natural innate reaction is to jump out of our skin, jump up, go, react. And instead of reacting, it's better to respond. So when we respond with, oh, I sense something's in this room, and I'm going to accept that, we start to feel that energy start coming in. And so what happens, they give us paralysis so that we don't jump, so that we don't run, so that we don't block, and so that we are experiencing the moment. because one of the things that I have made extremely important to everyone that I work with is life is in session, and being present is the most important part of spirit communication. So life's in session, be present. If you're coming to my office and there's flowers all around you and I ask you what color they are and you can't tell me, I can guarantee you, you can't tell me if there's been a spirit walking beside you, if you've gotten an intuitive hit, if there's been a spirit trying to talk to you, or any of your senses have been utilized, because you're not even witnessing what you're seeing in the moment. So
Hmm.
being present when you want spirit communication is how you're going to get that.
That's very interesting. So it's like sometimes you kind of think of it as being more present to the other worlds, but actually being more present in the sensory level to this world is a portal to being able to be more receptive. That's very interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little. So there's a lot of different kinds of fear. So there's self-judgment or fear. So what about the fear of death itself? Like the sort of how much of that needs to release as part of the communication process?
I honestly don't believe that we need to release the fear of our own death. What we need to release is the fear that they aren't ever going to be there again. And I think that that is our deepest fear, is that they'll be gone and we won't be able to connect with them. They'll be gone and we will never see them again. And releasing that fear is the most difficult part to spirit communication.
Hmm.
Once we stay in the moment and believe in the possibility of connection, that is when we can release that and say, okay, I'm going to just trust it for this moment. So I have this little 3-step rule, and it's awareness, acceptance, action. We become aware they're in the room. And there's a long, and I'll be teaching this in my course. There's a long process to this, but it's doable and it's not difficult. We become aware that they're there. They become aware that we're aware. We accept that we've had an experience. They become aware that we've accepted and they get excited. And then we just simply trust, which is the action. And once we just allow ourselves to trust this moment, they again can step in and show us that they're there. But our biggest fear about releasing the outcomes, when we're attached to the outcome, like, I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to look stupid, or I'm going to make it up, I'm going to be crazy. That's a big one. I hear it all the time. What if I'm just crazy? What if you're not? What if there is the possibility? And once you step into that understanding, instead of the I don't think I can do this to maybe I can, let me try, everything shifts, because they become aware. They're very aware of our process. I have seen spirits get so excited that their mom will say, I know he's not there. I'm absolute. He's not been here the whole time. I never see signs, and so on and so forth. And I'll say, well, what about this? And what about that? And he's showing me this and he's showing me that. And they'll go, I didn't know that was a sign. Oh my gosh, you mean he's really here? I mean, they literally leave with that knowledge base. And I see them bust into tears of pain and relief mixed together, because mediumship doesn't free us of the grief. It simply makes another portion of the grief be doable. And that is the difference of when you have mediumship in your life. It doesn't stop grieving. Grieving will be there, but it makes it just a little bit more doable, if even
Hmm.
for a moment.
So once you've sort of started to open this bridge of connection and you're starting, do you feel it's important to establish some sort of evidence or proof that this is kind of really the your loved one on the other side? How do you relate with that?
Absolutely. So I'm an evidential medium. And this, for me, if I were to go to a medium and they said, your mom's here, and I said, yes, my mom died, and they said, she loves you and gave me all emotion, I wouldn't be able to trust that. So what we learn to do is a kind of like a movement. It's evidence, emotion, evidence, emotion, evidence, emotion. And we end on emotion so that they're feeling as they're receiving this evidence. That's how we teach. And that way, they're stepping into the energy of feeling and experiencing the evidence that, yes, it's really that. Without that, they're questioning. They're not in the process. They're questioning and they're not trusting. So we want them to have that trust. And in order to do that, they have to have the evidence in front of them. It might be something as simple as yesterday was your birthday, or your last voice contact with them before they crossed, and I mean voice contact, like we're speaking before they crossed, was this, or their favorite color, or it can be something so simple, and they will give it to you. And that's how, again, building a dictionary becomes so important, by the way, because as they're giving it to us, of course, we want that to permeate them, that knowledge of, oh, this is what this means. The reader, not the sitter, not the person coming to, but the reader. This is what this means. And as you learn that, and again, it's taught to you innately. As you learn that, you open up those pathways for people to hear this information. But you have to trust what you're receiving. So I tell people, give what you get. Don't worry about whether it's right or wrong. That's our ego. So an example might be, I had someone come to me from the other side and show me Raggedy Ann and Andy. I wanted to tell a story. I have to release my story, the story I tell myself, but I didn't. And I said, oh, you have Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. And she went, no, no, I don't. And I said, well, your grandmother's here. And she's telling me that, Raggedy Ann and Andy. So I'm assuming it's dolls. Don't ever make assumptions. Just give the evidence. I see a doll. It's a Raggedy Ann and Andy. Does that make sense to you? Because what she ultimately ended up saying was, oh my gosh, the last time I had Halloween with my grandmother, she made me a Raggedy Ann and my brother a Raggedy Andy outfit.
Oh,
And we spent
wow.
Halloween with her. So how I confused that was by limiting my own beliefs and giving my own story.
Yeah, you have a
So we
little
wanted,
spin on there. You interpret.
yeah, right. So just give the information. That's how evidence helps us.
That's a great example. I know so much of evidence is really personal, and so getting that personalized evidence is so compelling. But are there other stories like that that you want to share that really sort of bring alive just how specific and powerful this process can be?
Oh, there's so many. So I had a mother whose child had crossed, and I kept hearing this song. And I knew this song. So I'm singing this song, saying, oh, you guys sang this song. And I'm telling her the song. And this is in my process of learning, which is okay. We have to take our egos out of it. And even though we don't like being wrong as a human, we have to be willing to be wrong or to get it wrong. And once we do that, it softens our communication. We're not like, gripping our fingers going, am I going to get this? So I said to her, you understand this song. I know this song. You must have sang this to her. And she said, no, I didn't sing it to her. And I said, are you sure? Because she's showing me you singing this song. Well, that was inaccurate. I went too far. Once I said, okay, maybe you weren't singing it. Do you understand this song? And she started crying. And she said, my daughter, it was the first thing she learned on her little keyboard when she was a little girl. And I play it every day. So it wasn't about singing and it wasn't about the words. It was about the song itself, her recording of her little girl playing it on the keyboard when she was little on her little, those little pianos. So I thought it was this big ordeal of a song that they sang all the time. And I made it my story. So again, releasing my storyline. It's not my story. I don't know the story. What I know is the information I'm receiving, and I trust that.
Hmm. It's a great example. Yeah, and also just how precise it can be too. So you don't want to, you just want to just go with whatever is coming across versus like any interpretation. What do you recommend in terms of strengthening the muscle and building it sounds like both on the your side as well as the spirit side. How do you kind of create that reciprocal flow as a more enduring practice?
Well, the wonderful thing about this muscle is that if you have a can of beans that weighs a pound and you have a weight that weighs a pound, how you lift it, if you lift it the same way, you're going to build that muscle the same way. And you're going to open the pathway to continuing building those muscles as you're using it. So it doesn't matter how you do it, it matters that you do it. So the first is intention. You have to put your attention and intention on growing in this area. Once you put your attention on it, then the intention is, what do I see? What do I feel? What do I sense? So I might be standing in front of an Uber, and I might go to get in the Uber, and I might feel something. Something's telling me, it could be a loved one, it could be my intuition, don't get in the Uber. I can either listen to it and learn or not. One way or the other, I'm going to learn something. because I'm not trusting my intuition. So that's a way to build the muscle, is to listen to what we're receiving. Intuition is in the gut. It starts in the gut. Mediumship starts outside of you. So it's a much higher vibrational energy. That's why if you're just working on intuition, to begin with mediumship will give you the best intuitive hits you can have, because it's a higher vibrational energy.
Beautiful. Well, super inspiring just hearing your overall orientation and experience. And I know you want to take us in a bit of an experiential to give a taste of how to start to open this pathway and be in the right receptive field to create this loving connection to the folks on the other side. So why don't we do that now?
Okay, great. I want to say this really briefly, is that remember, fear narrows you, love expands you. Fear says, what if they're gone? Fear says, what if I'm making this up? What if I never feel them again? Fear contracts your awareness. So love will expand that awareness. So I want to be really clear about that, because I think it changes how we view it. Grief is obviously love looking for somewhere to land or somewhere to go. And so releasing that fear and wrapping yourself in the love will help you. Right. So let me go into a spirit communication with you. I'd like to take you through a meditation. And remember, you're not here to prove anything. You're not here to have anything but an experience through this. Mediumship is not about proving. It's a feeling, a memory, a warmth, a knowing, a sense of peace. It is a stepping into a soul source. So we're going to step into that. No expectations, friend. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in. Gently exhale. And again, allow your body to soften as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Your attention is on your breathing and on the sound of my voice as I guide you through this meditation. Allow the noise slowly open the gate. And you're stepping through. You're stepping through the gate as your attention is on your breathing in and out. Take a very deep breath. As you step through, you find yourself entering a magnificent garden filled with light, like the sun shining on your body, gently surrounding every part of you. The air is warm and gentle. The birds sing softly in the distance. The sweet fragrance drifts through the breeze. Flowers bloom in colors more vibrant than any you have seen before. Everything here feels alive, peaceful, sacred. With every step you take, the burdens you've been carrying begin to grow lighter. Grief, fear, longing, the unanswered questions. You don't need to leave them behind. You simply don't need to carry them alone right now. This garden exists between worlds. The place where love continues. The place where soul recognizes one another. Notice a beautiful path unfolding before you. Begin walking down that path. Feel your feet crunching in the leaves. So safe, so secure. As you begin walking, memories begin appearing around you like soft streams of light. Moments of laughter, moments of joy, moments that matter, moments that love preserves. You realize something profound. Love never truly disappears. It simply changes form. Continue walking. Notice the warmth of the sunlight upon your skin. Soft earth is still beneath your feet. The gentle breeze moving through the trees. Ahead of you, you see a beautiful fountain filled with flowing light. The water sparkles like liquid peace. Beside the fountain is a bench, and standing there, surrounded by light, is the soul of your loved one, the loved one you wish to see the most. The loved one is whole, radiant, beautiful, not sick, not struggling, not limited by the body they once inhabited, simply their magnificent soul essence. Your soul recognizes them instantly, and theirs recognizes you. Feel the love moving between you now, pure, immediate, eternal. Allow yourself to walk toward them. Notice the peace they carry. Notice the love surrounding them. Notice how familiar they feel. Souls do not forget one another. As you reach them, imagine taking their hands into yours, soul to soul, heart to heart. No distance, no separation, only love. Perhaps words are exchanged. Perhaps there's only feeling. Both are sacred. Now imagine sitting together beside the fountain. You're sitting together beside the fountain. The flowing water represents eternal connection. Love continuing to move beyond worlds. Your loved one gently places their hand over your heart. You immediately feel the warmth spreading through your chest. Healing, comfort, peace, presence. Allow yourself to receive. And now hear these words spoken softly to your soul. I'm still with you. I still walk beside you. I still can communicate with you. I know your heart. I celebrate your victories and sit beside you during your tears. Please do not think love ended when the physical life ended. My love did not end. It simply changed shape. Take a deep breath. Allow those words to settle into every part of your being. Now notice the flowers surrounding you beginning to glow softly. Each flower represents a memory, a moment, a lesson, a thread of connection that still exists between you. Nothing real is ever lost. Love leaves its imprint upon your soul forever. Now your loved one stands and gently invites you to walk deeper into the garden. Together you move down a beautiful pathway lined with flowers and ancient trees. You hear wind chimes softly dancing in the breeze. You feel completely safe, completely loved, completely held. Ahead, the garden opens into a field of golden light. And there, your loved one turns toward you. a smile, a soul smile, kind that says everything words cannot. And they place a message into your heart. When you think of me with love, you will find me. When you speak to me, I hear you. When your heart opens, I am there. We are forever connected. Take a moment right now to receive whatever gift, message, feeling, or healing your soul needs most. There's no rush. Simply allow. Simply allow. Letting go and allowing them to help you heal. Breathe, receive, remember. Remember everything that your soul resonates in. All the laughter, all the hugs, the smiles, love, the hard times, the good times. Remembering helps you connect. Receive those memories with an open mind and heart. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and be present in this moment, this space, and this time, and know that they're present with you.
Mm. Well, thank you. That was a profound journey. Really went very deep. I'm sure people are still just coming back from that. And yeah, there's a hypnotic quality to your voice that really invites that deepest level of connection and healing. So thank you for that full
Thank you.
experience.
Thank you.
Do you want to share anything about like how to best integrate that experience
Into mediumship.
into just moving forward?
Remembering that you can always return to that beautiful scene. That's your space, it's your energy, it's your story. So integrate that into your soul and allow yourself to be present with them. That's the goal. That's what they wish for, and that's what you wish for. And you can help that happen. And between you and the spirit world, it comes together seamlessly when you let go and allow it.
Mm. Well, Susan, clearly you have deep expertise and a lot of mastery in this arena, and I want to spend some time talking about how people can study with you, which is a remarkable opportunity to really go into this work and learn from a master. So, Susan has agreed to teach a brand new program we mentioned earlier. It's called Spirit Communication Beyond Death. Strengthen your mediumship skills through the soul's transition and near-death insight. You can find it at the URL spiritcommunicationcourse.com, spiritcommunicationcourse.com. This is a 7-week program, and there are really no prerequisites or background required. Susan will take you from wherever you are and really get you well along this path of opening the portal of communication with the other side. So, Susan, I'd love for you to share some of your intentions for what people will walk away with, and then we can go through the modules and the bonuses and give a preview of what's coming.
Okay, well, my hope is that you walk away with a clear foundation for connection with the spirit world. Once you have a clear foundation and you release your limiting beliefs, once your foundation is solid in understanding and you rid yourself of the bad habits that we create trying to connect, which we very well do, I do it. And once you recognize that trusting at any given moment is not always easy, I too lack in trust at times. Sometimes I'll walk into my office and say, this can't be real. I might be fooling people. What if it's not real? And I'm in my human self. And it happens to me, and it's going to happen to you. And my staff will say to me, well, tell us how you feel when you come out. And I'll walk out going, I couldn't have known that. It's unbelievable. It's real. And that's what I want you to learn, is that you don't have to trust 24/7. And in fact, you will not. So I want to set the foundation that you can have doubt and still do this work. You can have doubt and still learn to communicate with your loved one. It's a matter of letting go and letting it be exactly what it is in that moment. So my goal is to create that foundation, and then moving further into the modules, learning how to get rid of those limiting beliefs, how to get rid of your fear, how to deal with the grief that holds you back and binds you from being able to move into the spirit world. What the steps are to learning to actually open that pathway, how to work that muscle, and then how to actually have spirit communication readily at your fingertips. Again, you will not always feel like you can trust it, but you go with it anyway, because that's what you're going to learn. That's part of the foundation of this course, is to learn that whether you trust it, believe it, feel it every day, or any of those things that hold us back, whether you have all of that, you're still going to get to the end result, which is connection. And remembering that it is not just consciousness, it's a relationship, and it's a communication. We're just having a conversation. And I want to teach you that.
Beautiful. Well, let's at least touch upon the modules. So module 1 is discover the soul's transition journey to deepen your relationship with spirit.
Right. And in that one, we're going to be creating that foundation where everything follows. Before we can communicate with the spirit world, we need to understand the soul's journey and what happens during transition. When we stop and understand death differently, we stop approaching spirit communication through fear and begin to approach it through relationship. That's my goal in the first module, is understanding what it was like to cross to the other side, what it looks like, feels like, and how to experience that without having had a near-death experience, and knowing what they're experiencing. Because let me tell you, in a relationship, it's not one-sided. A relationship needs to know both sides of the coin. And so we want to understand them and what they've experienced. So that will be module 1.
Module 2, explore near-death experiences to expand your awareness beyond the physical.
We'll explore near-death experiences more, go deeper, and then we'll teach about consciousness beyond the physical body. It's deeply personal for me because my own near-death experience became one of my greatest teachers. So I want you to learn through my experience to create a great teacher in you, or a great reader in you. So module 2 will be, what does the experience create for you when you understand it, not necessarily have it, but understand it. And again, understanding them on the other side. So we're going to go deeper and deeper into that. It is the foundation to connection, is understanding what they're experiencing next to what you're experiencing, and combining those two to create synergy between you.
Module 3, refine your awareness of symbolic communication to recognize authentic spirit communication.
So many people miss communication because they don't understand spirit's language. You have to be able to decode that language, which is what I'm going to teach you. Spirit communicates symbolically. So in this module, you're going to learn how to recognize authentic communication rather than dismissing it or pushing it aside, where you can actually have the awareness and then go into the acceptance of that awareness. We're not yet to the trust, but at the end of this, all these modules, you will be, I promise you, because that's my goal, is to get you in a place to totally trust what you're experiencing.
Module 4, embrace grief to cultivate healing and spiritual awakening.
This is one of the most transformational weeks. Grief is not an obstacle to spiritual connection. Grief becomes the doorway. So we're going to explore how healing grief can actually deepen your spiritual awareness.
Module 5, practice with sacred responsibility and ethics to ground your mediumship in compassion, integrity, and healing.
So my friends, I need to say this, ethics matter more than anything. You have a loved one's soul in your hand, and you have the spirit world's soul in your hand. Your ethics matter. Mediumship is not a performance. It's a relationship, and it carries with it a huge responsibility, because it is a responsibility. So we're going to explore boundaries, discernment, compassion, what it means to serve others with integrity, utilizing your integrity and your character to connect you to the spirit world. Fear creates a lack of integrity. We start making things up. So we want to work through that so that we have really firm understanding of the boundaries of discernment and the compassion that it takes to step into that space, knowing that whatever we say can hurt someone. So we have to realize that with integrity and compassion, discernment, and the boundaries, we understand what to say, what not to say, how to say it. And as a grief therapist, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of damage being done. So we're going to learn how not to create that damage through ethics.
Module 6, strengthen your ability to perceive spirit through building relationships rooted in trust and connection.
Connection is built through trust. As I was sharing earlier, without trust, we struggle with the connection. So we're going to strengthen your ability to perceive spirit while learning how to build a healthy relationship with the unseen world. We want this relationship to be healthy, and it can be. Sometimes when people leave, they don't leave in a healthy way, and they don't leave with us being healthy with them. So we want to teach how to shift that and develop a healthy relationship with the unseen world. That is my goal, to get you to that place where you're not carrying that darkness that we carry when we've had unhealthy relationships with people, or we've had an argument, or whatever it is. So I want to strengthen that ability for you to perceive them without carrying all of this trauma internally while you're doing it.
And finally, Module 7, integrate your learnings to live with greater presence, love, and connection.
Well, this final week brings everything together. The goal isn't simply learning techniques. The goal now is to learn how to live with greater love, presence, trust, and connection every day. So in this module, we're going to bring everything you've learned together, and we're going to create an ability for you personally, to have a conversation and a relationship, not just a consciousness, with your loved one and the loved ones of others, so that you can go out and do this work with trust, integrity, connection, presence, and love.
Beautiful. What a beautiful offering. Thank you, Susan, for creating it and really bringing all your deep wisdom forward for this. So I'll share a little bit more about it. So again, the course is at spiritcommunicationcourse.com. We've just described the 7 90-minute live sessions with Susan, where she's going to be distilling so many key wisdom principles for how to do this work well and in good ethics and successfully. And you're going to get interactive practices during that time, as well as time to ask your questions live. You also get recordings of every session, which are super helpful, video and audio, as well as transcripts that really allow you to go back and practice things you might have missed or need to come back to. There are weekly practices for home. There's a community group to support you and deepen your experience, as well as small group time to connect with other participants. And yeah, so there's something really dynamic and powerful about the live learning environment. We're not doing these pre-recorded, so it creates a field, and there's a collaborative energy and a transformational power that really gets liberated. So we're very excited about that. And yeah, so we're really blessed to have this time with Susan to learn from her and open to deeper potentials. And on the page, you'll also see there are a number of extra bonuses that are each designed to enhance your journey. There's a PDF Susan's created called Messages Beyond the Veil, a spiritual connection guide for signs, dreams, and intuition. Want to share more about that?
Oh, that's going to be wonderful. It is so thorough and so in depth, and it's going to help guide you. I would suggest to anyone taking the course, and to all of you, to read that prior to each course, or at least read portions of it, so that, without question, you want to witness transformation in real time. But we also want you to be prepared for that. So make sure you take the time to prepare before the course begins, each individual time, even if it's 5 minutes, and look over that PDF. It's wonderful.
That's one bonus. And there's a second bonus, an audio that Susan's created called Infinite Soul Meditation. Want to share more about the second bonus?
That bonus is wonderful. It will jump you into a place of being in a meditative state and recognizing your soul connection. People believe that they are broken or disconnected or incapable of connecting with spirit. This is going to shift that And I would suggest doing it again at least a day before and as close as you can to each individual course.
Great extra bonus. And then there's one final bonus that you get if you sign up by midnight tonight Pacific time. And this is our special incentive to encourage you to really take the time and go through the course at spiritcommunicationcourse.com. And if you're getting the inner green light to move forward, then you're going to get a special bonus for doing so today. And so that is the Journey to the Other Side, Guided Meditation and Spiritual Healing Companion. It's a PDF from Susan. You want to share more about that?
What you just experienced was a journey to the other side, except for in this one, I actually take you that you go into their garden instead of them coming into yours. I think you're really going to enjoy it and find a real connection there.
Beautiful. Well, it's clearly going to be such a powerful program, and we've kept the investment very accessible. It's just three payments of $128, or you can save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start August 13th and run Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts in the community as well. There's some beautiful testimonials from people who have studied with Susan, worked with Susan. Susan is the real deal, a rare and extraordinary gift. She's so empathetic, so spot on with energy. So you are in very good hands, and you will be blessed if you choose to move forward. So again, it's all at spiritcommunicationcourse.com, and you will get the special bonus of the Spirit Journey to the Other Side, a guided meditation and spiritual healing companion when you sign up by midnight tonight. So, Susan, thank you for your wisdom and deep presence. I still feel like I'm kind of surfing a deeper bandwidth from your meditation there. And anything still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering doing your course?
Oh, absolutely. If you found your way here today, I don't think it's an accident. Maybe you're grieving. Maybe you've lost someone you deeply love. Maybe you're searching for answers. Maybe you've had an experience you can't explain and you've been afraid to trust it, or many experiences. Wherever you are, I want you to know this: love survives death, relationships continue, and you're far more connected than you even realize. My course isn't about becoming something you're not, it's about remembering what has always been there. It's about releasing fear, opening your heart, learning how to trust your connection again. I'd be so honored to walk you through that journey. So until we meet again, you take care of you. And I know that the Shift Network is really, really a powerful program to go to. That's why I'm here. And I hope that you make the decision to sign up for this course, because I know that you will gain so much from it. I know it. I've been teaching a lot of years, and I know the Shift Network, and you're going to have just an outstanding experience. So come join me. I can't wait to meet you all, and we'll see you soon. You take care.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Susan, and thank you all for joining. And again, the URL is spiritcommunicationcourse.com to get signed up for Susan's beautiful new program on spirit communication beyond death. And you'll get that special bonus when you sign up by midnight, which is the Journey to the Other Side, a guided meditation and spiritual healing companion. So thank you so much. Many blessings.